Super quick whistle-stop tour of your limited company accounts. So first couple of pages are information. It's really important that you check that this is correct. Then we have your director's responsibility, well, the director's report, which is a summary of your responsibilities. Really important that you understand everything in here, as effectively when we submit them to Companies House, we have assumed that you have accepted the statements made here. Then on to the next page, we've got your income statement. This is also known as your profit and loss report. And this is a summary of your financials. It states your turnover, your gross profit, your operating profit, and then your profit after tax. So it's quite important to look at that. It's really important as well, if you don't check your figures on an ongoing basis, to check at the end of the year and just see how the business is performing. And some of the key figures that you might want to look at here are your turnover. Is your turnover growing? Hopefully it is. Also to check your gross profit and check that those margins that you've got on your sales or on your services or your products are correct. Have a look at your administrative expenses. Are they sort of wildly out of control? Like in this situation here, these expenses are more than double what they were in the previous year, but yet the income hasn't doubled. So that's obviously impacting the net profit here. As you can see, the corporation tax, despite the turnover being significantly high, the corporation tax is actually only marginally larger, and that's obviously due to the operating profit. Now, normally, when you're sent your accounts, you'll also have your corporation tax return and the calculation attached to it. So it's always worth just having a look and making sure that you fully understand all of the implications of that. On the next page, we've got a statement of financial position. This is also known as the balance sheet. This is a summary of the assets and liabilities in your business, and then a summary of the equity that's held down here. There will always be, well, there are usually numbers down here on the notes section, and that means that there's going to be a breakdown further down the document of those figures and where they've come from and how they've been calculated. Key things to look at here. Your net assets, you want to be in a positive figure. If it's in negative, it means that you have more liabilities than your assets, and you're probably going to be in a bit of a sticky situation. So really important to just keep an eye on that. If you think it's going down, generally in business, you would assume that unless you're sort of investing in I don't know, in a product or something for a number of years, you would normally hope to see that that number increases. If you see that it's starting to go down, you might need to have a look and see what's actually going on in the business. The shareholders' funds here is a suggestion of what's left over for the shareholders to take in dividends. And then we've got a few notes here, which are basically that the company is exempt from audit. Here are the notes of the accounts. So you'll have your depreciation policies here for any fixed assets in your business. So that will be computer equipment, office equipment, any furniture and fittings, those kinds of things. They'll all be there, and you'll have a summary here of the depreciation, what's already been depreciated in previous years, and the value as at the end of the financial year of those assets. Then we've got a breakdown of any debtors. So that's amounts owing to the business, and then creditors, that's amount owing out of the business to other people. And then on the very last page, you'll have a full profit and loss. Now, most of you will be using Xero, and all these figures are normally taken from Xero, and they look mostly the same. Some of them might have been merged, but this will be the full breakdown. And you can normally hop over into Xero and just see what figures have been put into each of those categories. I hope that's been helpful, but if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us,